Well, welcome to today's program. I'm pleased to have with me today David Anderson, who's a general manager of the Palm Beach County Convention Center. How are things in Palm Beach?
Things are good. Things are slowly opening up. We're happy to see the progression with events coming into the building. A lot of last minute stuff that's actually coming onto the books, where they're calling today for like a week from now. From a capacity standpoint, it's not really the capacity or the size that we're looking ultimately to get back to. But the good news is short-term business is starting to be consistent and come back into the building, which is great to see from a client standpoint. It's also great to see patrons coming back into our building.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear. A convention center, you want to be busy, you want to have events and people coming. So I know you're working on that. Let's talk about the GBAC Star Facility Accreditation program, because your facility, your convention center, applied for and obtained that accreditation. Tell us about that. What was the trigger? I know we know it's the pandemic, but was there something in particular that made you decide to go after this accreditation?
Yeah, when the pandemic first hit, I think there was a haze over all of us trying to figure out where we go, as a country and as an industry. But there was a point where we got our focus. One of the things that was, I guess, a drum that was beating really loud, as you know, was the whole safety and sanitization protocol aspect of running facilities or just business in general, is keeping people safe. So we had been in discussions with GBAC, but also ISSA through our convention bureau here, Discover the Palm Beaches, as well as ourselves. And we took a very aggressive approach to wanting to get ahead of this immediately. So we actually became GBAC Star certified July 15th of last year. So it's amazing that it's almost coming up on our 1-year anniversary. But the key was we wanted to get out in front of everybody else. It was important to us as a building, and then as a company, because I'm with Spectra Venue Management, that we really committed to make sure that our buildings were safe, initially for our staff, and then for our clients and patrons as they came back.
Yeah, I know when you're right. It's a long time ago, it seems, doesn't it? Last July. When you went through the accreditation process, there were 20 elements to study and implement in your facility. Do any of those stand out as noteworthy, or maybe easy to implement, or maybe challenging?
I think it was some of the things we liked about it was, one, the self-assessment. Is going through the elements really gave us an opportunity to self-assess ourselves on what we were doing even before, the pandemic hit. So while our building and our staff has done a tremendous job here, I think the GBAC Elements actually raised the bar with us and our team, gave us the ability to look at the training that we do with our staff, the orientation that we do with staff coming on board, how to outfit staff with the right PPE, understanding chemicals, understanding the equipment that you're actually going to be using. These are things that we've been doing, and I'm sure all facilities do. But GBAC really kind of hammered it home with the elements. So when you went through the process, it was almost kind of a vetting of what you're doing to see, okay, where you're at. But then it really laid the groundwork moving forward, to make sure that what we're doing is consistent on a daily basis. And the great thing about it is a number of our convention centers have been GBAC certified. So it's great that we know that we have a consistent protocol across our company platform.
Good details. Thanks for sharing all that.
Welcome.
Here's another question to consider. Can you share something tangible that you made improvements on because of GBAC Star accreditation?
I would say probably the focus to detail as it relates to in event cleaning, where we have we've always, when people do larger events, you have a larger staff and they're going through the motions. I think the planning got down to the microscopic level where you're actually looking specifically at number of tables, you're looking at the bathroom areas, you're looking at coverage of the drying time, like it got to a point where it's scientific, it's extreme analytics, so to speak. And I think that that just took us to another level again, where I think over the years the staff has gotten comfortable with, okay, I've got these events and I know I'm going to check the bathrooms, this time, or I'm going to hit these areas. But this really kind of brought it back into focus, where it's really more kind of a regimented focus on a daily basis, which again we were doing, but now we're doing it in a situation of a pandemic. So I think the staff became more even laser focused to make sure that what they were doing on a daily basis was repetitive, but also they were hitting the right spots consistently every single time.
Well thought out plans, that's for sure. So Dave, tell us this: how will accreditation benefit your facility after the pandemic is over and things return to normal?
Well, I think if I could just roll back for a second, I think the initial thing was it created what I call as confidence in the consumer. So as soon as we got the accreditation, we were able to show that we were very aggressive in our stance to make sure that our facility we were going to create a safe and sanitized environment for everybody here, our staff, our clients, and our attendees. So we immediately received accolades for it, and have since we've opened up last August. The other interesting thing about West Palm Beach, which I'm not sure you're familiar with, is our CVB Discover the Palm Beach has actually formulated an agreement with our TDC, our Tourism and Development Council, where we actually did an overarching accreditation with ISSA and GBAC. So we actually have a number of our attractions and our hotels and restaurants that are actually GBAC accredited as well. And we were actually the first airport, convention center, and convention center hotel to all be accredited at the same time in the country. So what's been outstanding about it is it's been a collaborative effort, not only with us and our hotel next door, but the airport, our attractions, the CVB. So we've received a ton of positive, press, but also doing site tours. Our clients are extremely happy that it's not just the convention center, it's the hotel next door, it's the attractions that they're going to, it's a number of the hotels they're staying at, and some of the restaurants as well. So this is one of those things that I understand that moving forward, there's going to be a lot of change, as we're seeing even as we talk today with mask mandates and vaccinations. But I think GBAC Star Accreditation has really laid the groundwork moving forward, that we're always going to make sure that that bar is at that level, so we never put ourselves in this situation ever again.
So my last question, David, would be, in your networking, speaking with other convention centers, other venues like yours, if they were to ask you, should we pursue GBAC Star accreditation, what would be your response?
Absolutely. I wouldn't give it a second thought. So I think GBAC has, I've spent a lot of time with Dr. Skinner himself, and we were actually one of the first, if not the first building to do an on-site GBAC training with Dr. Skinner last year. Dr. Skinner and the whole GBAC team have been fantastic to work with. And what's been great about it is it's been a learning experience for all of us. And so within the industry and within all these facilities, I've led a lot of facilities to GBAC, and they haven't been disappointed, because GBAC has really tried to do their best to work with the facilities, because it's been unique environments, unique locations. And GBAC is really, it's not one of those things that if you're this, this is the only way you can get GBAC. You can actually work with them, and they'll work with you in interesting environments to get accredited moving forward. So I think it's been a great experience, and I'd like to thank them personally. And I look forward to working with them moving forward.
Yeah. Well, they will see this episode, so we'll make sure they get this. But David, thank you so much for telling your story today, and good luck moving forward.